The president is diagnosed with COVID-19. We have the latest on what that means for our country's leadership. We find out how a black bear appeared on our campus, and we hear from someone who saw him. And a local charity has a smashing good time to benefit our community. I'm Shirley Lundy. Your news starts now. President Donald Trump is experiencing mild symptoms of COVID-19. Trump revealed on Twitter that he and First Lady Melania Trump have tested positive for the coronavirus. This is video of Trump campaigning Thursday in Duluth, Minnesota. The president has spent much of the year downplaying the threat of a virus that has killed more than 205,000 Americans. He says he and Mrs. Trump are quarantining at the White House. The White House physician said the president is expected to continue carrying out his duties without disruption while recovering. Hours before Trump announced he had contracted the virus, the White House said a top aide who had traveled with him during the week had tested positive. Now let's look at the COVID-19 campus dashboard. UTC now has 46 active cases. That's up slightly from last week. In all, we have had 388 cases since the tracking of COVID on campus has begun on June 1st. People on campus lined up for their free flu shots. Workers from Access Pharmacy dispensed the shots at the University Center. They went through the allotment of 200 vaccinations in a few hours. Stroll across campus and you can see just about anything. This past weekend, people got to see a black bear. Jake Redfern has the story.
Yo, that's a bear.
This bear was originally tagged in Sevier County. It was habituated to human food and it was then relocated to Polk County. We then had sightings of it in Ray County, in Bledsoe County, and then Hamilton County, I believe the Signal Mountain area, and then eventually in downtown Chattanooga.
All right, so I was walking along the sidewalk near Stoffel, but we all know Crossing Pod is like a parking lot. And before I even seen what was actually happening, I saw a group of squad cars coming down the road, and I'm just like, there's no car they're chasing, but like they had on sirens and they're like on a chase for something. And then all of a sudden, out the corner of my eye, I see like this little black blob, and it's like galloping really hard. And I'm just like, is that a bear? And I looked at it a little closer, and it was a bear.
So we don't see this as a bear issue. This is a human issue. Mm-hmm. This bear was relocated because humans had not properly stored their food, or trash wasn't put on the proper day. It had been continually going back to trash cans or dumpsters. That is a reason that bears need to be relocated most often.
So from here, the bear traveled north of campus behind the woods by the health department, where it was eventually euthanized by the wildlife officials. It was a decision they didn't want to do, but for the protection of the public, it needed to be done.
I feel like animals don't get enough attention or basic rights for that matter.
So we often ask folks to look at bear. Learn how to live in bear country. Help us make sure that this isn't the ending for the next bear.
We want to remind you that early voting starts in Hamilton County October 14th. If you want to vote by mail-in ballot, Hamilton County officials say you need to have your request in 7 days before the election on November 3rd. 2 streets at the edge of UTC campus are undergoing changes. Workers began converting Houston and Lindsay streets from one-way to two-way all the way to 4th Street. Houston borders West Campus Housing and Johnson O'Barr Apartments. Lindsay is just a block west of Houston. Houston will reopen to two-way traffic starting October 14th, while Lindsay will reopen a week later. Smashing up a car is usually something you want to avoid, but the local chapter of Black Lives Matter held a car smash right in front of the Stone Cup Coffee for charity. It's all to help the community. Tim McCurry has the story.
The Juke Joint CHA was held from 6 p.m. and lasted late into the night. Several locally owned businesses set up shop, almost all of them owned by African Americans. There was even an axe throwing gallery and a live band, though the most important part of the event was smashing a car, which was artfully graffitied by Andrew Travis. Even though Travis usually makes faces with graffiti, he didn't want to put a face on the car since the event is about understanding, not anger.
And I really didn't want to attach a face to anybody or anything specific. Because at least with the times now, it's a lot of tension. I know people are upset, I'm upset, but art is my outlet in a way to kind of transfer that energy so it's not being lashed out at other people, because really it's just understandings.
The event was ran by BLM member Mayor Will Strickland, who wanted to be a block party where people could see a real black culture event. While the track was always part of the event, it served another purpose here where people can purge their anger over recent events.
It's a step in the right direction. I'd rather people focus their energy in beating on this car behind me instead of going and terrorizing businesses locally.
Strickland also mentioned that the BML chapter will hold another Juke Joint Jive based on and held around Halloween. So if you're in the North Shore area, check out the event if you can.
I hope people come out, donate to charity, donate to Midnight Puff and I Can't Breathe Child, and come learn something. It's always about education. Power to the people, we love you.
That's this edition of Mocs News. Thank you for joining us, and be sure to keep up with us on our YouTube channel. We are also on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Have a good weekend.